So, for those who may know, I've been sober going on 3 months. And with being sober, I've had a lot of time to think and process things and deal with things head on that a lot of people don't really deal with. Today is Saturday. A lot of people are out, getting drunk, smoking, whatever. Basically running away from their problems, running away from the world problems that they feel they have no control of. And, just looking for a few hours of escape. But since I've had this mental clarity, I've realized that my life isn't worth living. Now, I'm not saying anything crazy now, but I just realized that my life personally isn't worth living. Um, I have no family, no friends. I've had a pretty decent childhood, but I've grown up with a lot of abandonment issues due to family felt like they didn't truly, love me. Um, I'm pretty sure I made a video about that. I'm not gonna go down that lane again, but I pushed away everybody in my life as an adult due to the fact that I feel like I wasn't good enough. I wasn't good enough. Maybe not in their eyes, but to me, I wasn't good enough for myself, so I felt like I wasn't good enough to be around you. And I had to sabotage our relationship before you seen what I see in myself. And I've been through a lot of things in my life. And I'm sure you guys been through a lot of stuff too, maybe even worse. Um, there's a lot of things in my life that I can control, and there's a lot of things in my life that's out of my control. And the things I can't control is just not enough. It's just not enough. Um, I'm consumed by this worldly life that I think I need to have in order to be happy, in order to be satisfied, in order to feel like I'm living a good life. Um, I'm at the point where I feel like I'm just on the earth to trade my time for money because I bring no other value to this earth, to the people of this earth. And yeah, I'm just completely lost. I have no sense of direction. Um, the world is not in my favor. Like I said, I don't want to make just, like I'm blaming everybody, but I take a full accountability for the situation I'm in. But there's some things you can't control. And the world is not in my favor, especially as a black man. And I don't want to make this about race because it's way bigger than race than they try to make it seem. Um, I'm not meant to win, and I've understand that, and I'm tired of using, outside, substances like alcohol, smoking. Thank God I gave that up. Um, to cope with, I'll never be good enough. I'll never be where I want to be. I'll never be allowed to win. Um, so I spent the last few months by myself, just going over life and going over my life and going over the world and going over what's going on in the world, and it's not meant for me. And I mean that in the most respectful way. It's not meant for me. And I don't believe this is what God intended. If you call yourself God's children, I believe you should act like it. And I don't believe it's what God intended. I believe people have gotten way too greedy. People, it's all about power. is all about divide and conquer. Nobody's really for you. No, nobody's for you. Nobody's fighting for you. Everything is on you. Nobody is going to come down and change your life. Not God, not the people you put in position of power. Nobody's coming to change your life. Nobody's coming to fight for you. And with being sober, I've gotten to realize that this world is a really messed up place. It's more about keeping those who the people in position of power don't seem as intelligent, keeping them in this mind frame of, if you work hard enough, you'll achieve what you want to achieve. You'll get where you want to go. And in some instances, a few people do slip through the cracks, and that's enough to convince the mass majority that, hey, maybe they're right. Hey, they're right. And there are far few in between. And as a black man, I feel like we don't have much options. Like I said, it's not about race. I love everybody. But I have to speak in reality, and that there's some obstacles against me. And that if I don't fight tooth and nail, blood, sweat, and tears, that it was never meant for me to win. And as a black man, there is some obstacles against me because of the color of my skin. Something, I had no control of. And, I accept that. And, it is what it is. Like I said, I was born into this world. This is how it was before I was here. This is how it'll be after I was here. And yeah, I just don't want to fight no more. I just don't want to fight for what I believe is right. I don't want to fight for something that should be, morally right. But people will look past it because of, money, power, fame, success. Kanye West said it right. He said it perfectly on the, songs All Falls Down. The prettiest people do the ugliest things for the road to riches and diamond rings. And I realized that I'm just not ugly enough. I'm not willing to stoop that low. I'm not willing to step on somebody. I'm just not ugly enough. And I have some self-awareness about me, and I have some sort of moral compass that I just can't see myself doing. And living in this world, that has been my detriment against me. I don't feel like I have anything really to live for, because I just don't see the point. I don't have no direction. I have, like I say, nobody in my life. I do wish I could have, a wife and kids, but at the state I'm in, not even mentally, at the state I'm in, when it comes to living up to the worldly standards, I don't feel like I could ever be loved. And even if they did love me, I don't think I would ever believe it. And I accept the fact that I will just, be alone. And it doesn't matter how good of a person I am, respectful, caring, kind. It really doesn't matter, because the world has set a standard that at 31 years of age that I cannot live up to. And I've failed as a man, as a human being, and in the eyes of society. I've deleted all of my apps. I've deleted all my social media apps because I've realized if it's done nothing but force me to chase validation of people who don't care about me, my well-being, all for the chance of winning them over to eventually change that, turn them followers into a community, and eventually monetizing that community. I hate that I have to do this. I hate that I have to wake up every day and chase something, that's not really in me to chase, but I'm forced to psychologically to chase it because this is what you're supposed to do to get where you need to get. And when I mean chase, I mean, views, followers, likes, comments, money. These are stuff that are, you know, etched into my brain, etched into my psyche that I have to do this if I want to be something in life. And as a black man, I don't have many options. And I don't want to say, other people have more options because we're all in this together. We're all trying to figure this out. We're all need direction. We all, I'm no different from you, but I am looked at different from you. And I just don't want to play the game no more. I don't. That's the main point of this video. I don't want to play the game no more. This is not me saying I'm gonna do anything. This is not me, insinuating I'm gonna do anything. This is just my raw, honest, and vulnerable thoughts that I just need to get off because I've seen the truth. I've seen the light. I'm tired of suppressing how I feel, and I'm tired of, being a slave to consumerism, being a slave to material items. I'm tired of losing my self-worth in myself because I'm comparing myself to somebody else because they have the picture perfect life, I want for myself. Not even out of jealousy or envy, but out of, self-pity for myself, self-loathing for myself. Like I said, I love everybody, but everybody doesn't love me. And I know nobody's probably gonna watch this, whatever, but I'm just done. I'm protecting my mental health. I'm protecting my mind. I'm protecting, what I got going on in my head because it's not worth it to me. It's not worth it to me. I just want to be free. I just want to be free, like mentally. I want to be free. I want love. But it's so many things in place that I have to live up to as a man. That now I'm not saying women don't have things to look up to, but as a man, there's so many things in place I have to look up to that if you don't achieve X, Y, and Z, you're basically forgotten about. You're basically, your life doesn't matter. And in a sense, I do understand it because there is 8 billion people in the world. It's hard to care about every single life on this planet because there's no scarcity of people. If there was 10 people on Earth, you would value those 10 lives because it's scarcity. It's because it would have been endangered. It would be like an endangered species. But with 8 billion people, there's no shortage of workers. There's no shortage of, slaves. There's no shortage. So a few unhappy workers don't really mean nothing when there's billions of us willing to, put our happiness aside to quote unquote achieve the dream that they want. Now, some people do escape, and kudos to them. But for some of us who aren't lucky, and I'm not saying I can't be lucky, because, like I said, I'm 31, so you never know what could happen. But that's the thing. It's all a big mystery, and I don't know. But yeah, I don't plan on continuing making videos, because I'm tired of chasing. I'm just tired of it. I'm tired of checking analytics. I'm tired of trying to be something. I'm tired. I'm tired. I'm tired of trying to be something. And and don't get me wrong, I want to be something in life. I want to be something in life. But I feel like I'm doing it to please people. I feel like I'm doing it strictly to become financially well off. I'm not doing nothing for the love. I'm not doing nothing, you know, strictly because I just, infatuated with doing it. I'm doing it strictly for monetary reasons, which is, and there's nothing wrong with, there's nothing wrong, wanting to make money, but the fact that it's such a huge impact on my life, because it determines your worth as a human being. It determines your worth as a man in this world. And I feel like that shouldn't be the case. I feel like the world is more than just, chasing a bag, or, I feel like it's more than that. And since I haven't achieved those goals, I fall into deep depression. I fall into lust. I fall into a lot of things that I've been digging myself in a hole trying to get out of, and it's hard, and I'm barely coming out of the hole. And sometimes I just want to disappear for like a few months. I just want to disappear and just get right, and I want to get closer with God, but I'm just not there yet, because I'm still chasing these worldly things that I feel like I need to be happy. And sometimes I feel like, no, I just need God to be happy. But I know that I shouldn't. There is no but I don't know. I'm completely lost in direction. I don't have no. There's no rule book to this, so I don't know what I'm doing with myself. But I just hope that you guys figure it out. I hope that you learn from me, learn from my mistakes, learn from what I got going on, and use me as a way to, carve out your lane. But what I do ask from you is, please, have an individual mind. Make sure, have an individual mind. You have your mind for a reason. You have your thoughts for a reason. You don't. I know the world is built off followers and subscribers and all that, but you don't need to be a follower. You don't need to compare your life to somebody else. You don't need to live your life based off somebody else's, assessment of what life should be. You have the power to think for yourself. You have the power to stand up for yourself. And remember, we're stronger together than we are divided. As much as the world and society likes to divide people into certain groups, race, wealth, political views, religion, we're stronger together as we are divided. So that's my message to you. And I hope you guys have a great day. Thank you for listening. Peace.